Even though God brings judgment against his nation, he will also bring judgment upon those who go against his will. Well, if you're joining us in reading through this 90-day reading plan, today's reading is Isaiah 9:8 through 10:19. I encourage you to read that passage. Well, Israel's judgment is coming. Nothing can stop it. They will be destroyed. They will be decimated. They will no longer even exist. But what about those who execute the judgment? What happens to them? When God uses other nations to judge, he expects that those nations might judge righteously. He is fully aware that they are not as outlined in this chapter of Isaiah, but he expects those who judge to judge fairly. The believing church has begun to speak out against the sins of the United States, and if we are called to judge those who are sinning, I think it's apparent that we are making a statement. The problem is that we're going to go in a direction that's not the same as maybe as God wants us to. We are going to be executing judgment without compassion. We are going to be executing judgment as if we controlled the outcome. We are to call out unrighteousness. It is clear that is our mission. But how we call unrighteousness out and how we are calling it out now may be two different things. We call out sin because we see it as sin, but we're not living holy lives, and those kinds of lives and then we are trying to tell people who are not listening as well as telling us that we're hypocrites. We have to clean up our act. If we're going to judge a person's actions, we must first have our act together. I remember being told in the Army that you'd better not complain if you're not a perfect troop. Now, we as Christians obviously will never be perfect, but we at least ought to be headed in that direction. But we are divided. We do not present a unified voice, even among people who believe the same thing. Denominations stick out with the divisions. Which form of Christianity are people to believe? We need to get back to the basics. We need to look at the early church and see how they functioned in a world who hated them, and then we need to emulate them. Otherwise, we will be judged by God.